Right, today I'm going to review this, and this is a handheld thermal spotting scope. Now, when I went to the shooting show, one of the things that was on the shopping list, or certainly of interest, was a handheld thermal spotter, and I wasn't sure what brand. Possibly Pulsar or whatever, or something from Scott Country or Thomas Jacks or whatever. Anyway, I came across this and was very, very impressed with it. And also it is a very competitive price. And I got it from this company here. Optical Solutions Limited. They had a stand there. With all sorts of different thermal gear on, not just thermal spotting scopes, but thermal night sights, thermal scope add-ons, all sorts of gear. Really, really good stand with lots of clobber. Anyway, so I saw this and I thought that's just what I want. It's a really, really handy size. It's not very heavy at all. It's got like a rubberized sort of weatherproof armoured finish to it, and more importantly for me, when I'm using one of these at night, it's incredibly simple to use, and that's sometimes overlooked, because what you've got to remember is, you know, you're going to be operating one of these in the dark, so the last thing you want is something that's really complicated, or has got tiny little buttons, or that's just really fiddly. This is so simple, it's unbelievable. Straightforward, on off, various colour palettes, zoom, and then you can increase the brightness or decrease the brightness of the screen. Focus knob right on the side, nice and big, easy to get hold of, dead simple. Little rubber protector at the end, and that's it. Really, really straightforward. Nice big buttons, dead easy to find in the dark. You know, you can feel that one's raised slightly. That's actually a port for the USB cable to recharge it and let it out. But you can feel that one at the front is raised, and then you just count them down. So it's easy, easy, easy to use in the dark. Dead simple, dead straightforward. Like I say, nice and light, fits in your pocket dead easily. You can mount it on a tripod if you want. But it's just really something that's geared up for sticking in your pocket and whipping out. Now, the main reason I wanted one of these is I shoot with a pard, but have some difficulty sometimes finding rabbits that I've shot, because if you're shooting on anything other than perfectly flat, grassy, sort of almost golf course like fields, shooting in amongst thistles or anything like that, it can stubble. It can be hard if you take your eye off the target for a minute to actually locate it without using a head torch or a small torch, and that obviously is counterproductive as it gives the game away. With one of these, that problem disappears immediately, because the rabbit will retain its body heat after it's been shot for at least half an hour or so, if not more. And one of these, you can detect it straight away and retrieve. So everything you shoot, you'll retrieve. There'll be no lost quarry with one of these. The other thing is, because it's nice and light and nice and handy, it's easier to scan the fields with these, looking for your quarry, than it is to keep lifting your rifle up all the time, which can get a bit, depending on the weight of your rifle obviously and the weight of your gear, get a bit tiring. One of these, you can leave your rifle slung over your back or in the crook of your arm and just quickly scan around the field with a little lightweight scanner like this, little thermal. And the other advantage of this, of course, is if you're doing it in thistles and stuff like that, with an infrared night sight, you get a lot of flashback from the illuminator. So if the ground is too densely covered in thistles or reeds or whatever, they'll reflect back the light and they wash out the image. So it can sometimes be quite difficult to actually spot what you're looking for. One of these, because it works off thermal, the body heat of the animal you're looking for, that problem does not apply. So you can pick them up even in thistles, stubble, whatever. And once you know where it is, it makes finding it in your night sight much easier. So that was one of the reasons what I wanted one of these for. But the thing is, what I found is that I took this out yesterday, used it just for a bit, just wandering around with it to try it out. I actually discovered that it's got all sorts of other uses for shooting. I mean, like I say, I bought it mainly for retrieving and spotting at night, but it's also great during the day. I saw a couple of squirrels in the trees when I was wandering around. Couldn't see them very clearly, couldn't see a couple of them at all with the naked eye, or with binoculars for that matter. This thing, bang, there they were, glowing away. It's so useful to have a thermal spotter. I was a little bit sceptical about their actual application for air gunning at first, thinking that perhaps they were a little bit gimmicky or whatever. But after having actually bought one and used it, even though I've only used it for one day, gotta say, really impressed. It's such a useful little bit of kit. Pigeons, squirrels, especially squirrels, it's really good, and an excellent bit of kit. So, onto this more closely then. So it's the XEYE E2n. Like I say, it comes from Optical Solutions. They do a number of versions. This is the very entry-level model to their range. They do all sorts of different ones, like I say, pushing out the range, increasing the functions on them. But for me, I thought that for the money, this was pretty much exactly what I needed. It's not too complicated. I don't need anything that's capable of chucking out some massive, ridiculous ranges. I'm air gunning with it, and even when I've been looking at it last night, the detection range is superb on it. Talking about the other side of a field, detecting a rabbit-sized object easily. I mean, all right, at that sort of range, it just shows up as a white blob, but as soon as it moves, it immediately becomes apparent what it is with it. And if it's anything out sort of rabbit-sized out, so I would say 60 yards, 70 yards, it's immediately apparent what it is, especially once you've used it on one or two of them, and you know what you're looking at. And up to sort of 50 yards, anybody could recognise it instantly just by flicking through it. It's, you know, it's glaringly, it's a rabbit. It's as simple as that. Like I say, out to sort of 60, 70 yards, once you've got used to what you're looking for, you'll be able to recognise them easily. And out across the width of the field at 100 and odd yards, you can still recognise what they are once they start moving. It's pretty simple to see what it is. And that's using the basic entry-level model. So this is ideal for air gunning and centerfire rifles, I would have said. It's really useful. I'll give you a couple of stats on it. The sensor is a 240 by 180 pixel. It's got a ceramic VOX sensor, 17 micron. It's got a one times zoom on it, and it digitalizes up to 2 times zoom. It's got a 13mm objective, 50 Hz refresh rate. The display is a 720 by 540 pixel LCOS display. It's got 5 different colour palettes on it. It's got white hot, as the usual ones, white hot, black hot, sort of red centre one, a full colour one. So it's got 5 different colour palettes. I'll be honest with you, I prefer either the white hot or the black hot. They're the most useful ones, I think, on this particular one. You've got 15 hours battery runtime. It's got an internal battery on it that you recharge with like a mobile phone charger type thing. You just plug it into your mobile phone charger and it recharges it in situ. It's got a cable outlet. It's got no Wi-Fi outlet on it, but it's got a cable outlet for recording videos and photographs. Operating temperatures goes down to -20 and as high as +50. It weighs about 320 odd grams, I think, something like that. It's 160mm long by 62 by 62. So they're the basic dimensions of it. Nice rubber eye cup. Like I say, the screen brightness you can vary, and it sits in the hand really nicely. The dimensions are really good, you know, when you're using that. It's just really handy little thing, nicely weighted. And the rubber armouring on it's really nice as well. It's got a nice tactile feel to it. Now I've only used it, like I say, I've used it a couple of times, and the image quality of it surprised me, which is one of the reasons I bought it. I've seen the much earlier versions of these for sale. In fact, a friend of mine had one that's sort of mounted on your mobile phone. And to be honest with you, unless you were right on top of anything, it might have been okay for retrieving shot game or following blood spores, blood trails. But other than that, it wasn't very good. The image quality was atrocious. The thing that struck me about this when I went to look at it was the image quality. It's really good. You know what I mean? It really is. It's very, very, very good. Very good. And I think for the money, this is probably the best one that I saw at the shooting show. And there were quite a few on sale at the shooting show. And this one certainly came out as one of the best. For what you're getting, I think it's a bit of a bargain really when you look at the price of some of the others. You know, you can add at least a couple of £100 onto the competition's products at the same level as this thing. At least a couple of £100. Because it's just really good. It's well made, it feels well made, it's handy, and it works brilliantly. And it's the applications of it. Like I said, I was a bit sceptical, you know, do you really need a thermal spotter just for air gunning? But once you've got one, the applications for it are great. It makes life so much easier. Like I said, I was out last night, quick scanning around some really thickety rough country. Now I've tested, when I first got my photon, I tested that on the same field to see if I could see anything. Struggle like mad to pick up any rabbits on the first sweep, as unless they were sat side on and you got the glare from the eyes, you had absolutely no chance of actually being able to pick them out because there's so much thistle cover there. With this, they just show up like a sore thumb. It just makes life so much easier. And like I say, squirrels in the trees, I was proper struggling to see them. Use this, bang, there they are, clear as day. And it just makes life so much easier once you know exactly where it is on the branch, where it is in the tree. Finding it with your telescopic sight, so much easier. They really are a pest controller's dream, these things. Like I say, the service from this guy as well, and this Optical Solutions, was first rate. It was delivered the next day, and it's just brilliant. Comes with a whole load of extra gizmos. Comes with the video cable out thing. Comes with the a USB to a micro USB to USB type port. You get a little sort of wrist strap, detachable wrist strap thing for it. Comes with a waterproof sort of rubberized bag to store it in when you're out in the field. And the chap that's selling these has told me that any purchasers of this, if you mention that you saw it on the Field Sports Cymru YouTube channel, he will throw in a free quality neck strap when you purchase one of these. So don't forget to say that if you mention to him that you saw it on the Field Sports Cymru website, you'll get a free neck strap from him. Because I think he's got, this Optical Solutions is a fairly newish company, I think, starting up. And he's quite keen to get these out there. And I can't say I blame him, because it's really good. And I look forward to fitting it up to some sort of recording device so I can show you the image quality of this at some stage or other, because the image quality is fantastic. It's really, really good. Seriously. The detection's fantastic, and there's no sort of, I don't know whether anyone remembers the earlier versions of these things, these thermals. You used to get a bit of flickering on the screen as the refresh rate was very slow. This, nothing. Nice smooth image as you're scanning the field. There's no flickering, no jumping. It's nice and smooth, nice and consistent, nice and even. Startup time's almost immediate. I think it's something like 3 seconds between pressing the button and actually firing into action. So it's nothing, almost immediate. Really, really simple controls. So simple to use. Like I say, 5 different palettes, so it's up to you which one you use. Change the screen brightness and the focus knob on the side. So it's dead easy to use as well. No complicated faffing about with it. Really straightforward, really easy. Really nice ergonomics on the controls. So they fall to hand nicely. Simple to use. Just what you need. Because you don't want to be messing about in the dark, faffing about with your sight. Which is one of the reasons I like the PARD as well. For the same reason, the controls are fairly straightforward. And this is just as good. This thing's brilliant. So there you go. So if you're in the market or considering buying a infrared thermal camera, then little thermal spotter, this should be right up there at the top of your shopping list. Like I say, they do different versions of this. The next one up in the range comes with a green rubber armoured body, but to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter what colour it is because you're using it in the dark, so it really doesn't matter. And I think that for an entry level into the world of thermal spotters, this thing's fantastic. You know, it's just so much better than the competition's entry level ones. This is like sort of mid-range one in a lot of people's cameras. It's brilliant. So it's the XEYE E2n infrared company, and I got it from Optical Solutions. And if you give these guys a call, he will, if you mention that you saw it on Field Sports Cymru, he will throw in a really nice good quality neck strap for nothing as a thank you. So don't forget to make a mention of me if you give them a call. If you call them for any reason whatsoever to check things out, mention this website, this YouTube channel, and I'm sure he'll throw in something for you. I know he'll throw in it if you want one of these or any of this range, he'll throw in a free neck strap. So there you go. So there you go. A nice thing and everything you need in the box. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be out using this with my PARD in the not too distant future, as soon as these storms all blow over. So there it is. Very nice. Very nice. I'll just run over those stats again for you. So it's got 2x digital mag, which is all you need really. It's 1x as it is standard. 240 by 180 pixels. Ceramic VOX sensor, 17 micron. 13mm objective lens and a 50Hz refresh rate. 5 colour palettes and a 15 hours battery runtime, which is ample. 15 hours is, you know, ample. It's a full night's work, easy out of it. So really, really, really nice bit of kit. Thanks for watching.